Hi guys, welcome to Optimal English with Reggie. Do you want to know how and when to use the article the? Let's take a look. Please hit that subscribe button. I drop these videos every Wednesday, and it'll be easier for you to see them. If you need a private lesson, let me know in the comments below, and I'll be able to get in contact with you as soon as I can. There are 4 reasons that we use the article the, and it's not as hard as you might think. The first reason we use the article the is because there's only one of that thing. The second reason that we use the article the is to use it before a superlative adjective. You see it right there, and we'll learn a little bit more about that in today's lesson. The third reason we use the article the is because we've already talked about that thing in a sentence. And the fourth reason we use the article the is because we're talking about a system or a service. You see, I told you it was easy. All right, I'll see you next time. Just kidding. All right, we'll break those down into separate parts and we'll have some examples so that you can be able to practice using the article the and use them in your English speaking. All right, let's start with the first one. Because there's only one of something. If you're like me, you love to go to the park with your family on a sunny day. But the sun is really hot sometimes, isn't it? Did you see there? I used the article the. Why did I use the article the in that sentence? Well, because there's only one sun. Well, that's what some people think. Some people actually think that the earth is flat, but that's for another lesson. Alright, so we use the before sun because there's only one sun. So think about other things that there's only one of, like the Pope, the President of the United States, the President of Russia. All of those places, there's only one of those things. So in a sentence, you have to say the. I hope it was easy for you to remember those. I love telling you guys stories because with a story, you can imagine something. And when your brain's working, well, you'll remember those grammar rules. All right, let's go to the second reason that we use the article the. Let's go back to our high school years. Do you remember in high school, there was one kid that was the tallest? You probably remember him. Man, was he tall. Now, talking about me, I was probably the shortest, but in my mind, I was the tallest. Did you see how I used the article the in those sentences? Well, we used the because it was in front of a superlative adjective. Now, those are tallest, shortest, best, most. We put the in front of those adjectives because there's only one. What about you? When you were in high school, were you the tallest or were you the shortest? All right, excellent. Well, I think you got that article the. Let's go to the third reason that we use the article the when we already mentioned that person or thing in a sentence. For example, in North Carolina, where I grew up, there was a kid who went to jail because he stole some fruit from the supermarket. The young man only stayed in jail overnight. Why did I use the article the in the second part of that sentence? Well, because you already knew who I was talking about. Because you knew who I was talking about, I used the article the. The young man that we both know. Wow, look at you using the article the. Okay, and the last one. We also use the article the when we're talking about any system or service. What I mean by system is the bus, the taxi, the train, the plane. If you're talking about those things, you have to use the article the because there's only one group of that thing. For example, I can't talk to you right now because my wife is on the phone. Or you're watching this video right now on the internet. See what I did there? Look at you learning those articles again. Excellent. So those are the 4 reasons to use the article the. Let's have a little recap to see if you really learned it. The first way that you use the article the is because there's only one of that thing. The second reason you use the article the is because it comes before a superlative adjective. Biggest, tallest, most, best, one of that thing. The third reason we use the article the is because we've already mentioned that thing in the sentence. And the fourth reason we use the article the is because we're talking about a system or a service. You're watching this video on the internet. Looks like you got it. Way to use those articles. If you felt like you learned something today and this lesson was easy, click that subscribe button. Also, click on the bell. That way you'll be able to see my classes every Wednesday. Okay guys, see you next week for a nice lesson. Take care.